Calvin in Dayton, Kansas. It says you disagree with me, Calvin, about what?
I disagree in that everybody that participated in January 6th should be prosecuted. But why don't you bring in the over 2,000 officers that were injured in all the left riots of last summer? Antifa, BLM. If you're going to prosecute one, baby, you better prosecute them all.
Maybe I missed something here, Calvin. I don't recall Black Lives Matter, anybody, who even purports to be a spokesperson for Black Lives Matter. Let me finish my sentence, for God's sake. And I don't recall anybody from, who says that they're representing anti-fascism saying that they wanted to overthrow the government of the United States. What did I miss?
What about Portland?
There was no attempt to overthrow the government of the United States. There were people protesting police killing black people.
You are attacking a federal building.
Yeah, I'm not defending that, Calvin. I'm not defending, but that is not the same thing.
They are blocking the doors and trying to burn people inside.
Yeah, that is not the same thing as trying to stop an election.
If you're going to prosecute one, prosecute them all.
Sure, and by the way, there's a guy here in Portland who just got 6 years in prison for trying to set that federal building on fire.
One guy.
Well, there were several people who were arrested. His girlfriend is also looking at time in jail. But the fact of the matter is, Calvin, that is not the same thing. I realize you're all upset that there were black people saying, "Hey, wait a minute, what about our rights? And please stop killing us." I get it. You're clearly upset about that.
I have no problem with peaceful protest any day of the week.
Yeah, right.
But when your peaceful protest violates my rights to free movement, it's no longer a peaceful protest.
Calvin, I don't know anybody who is defending violence.
You are?
No, I'm not. I'm telling you, it's not. It's not the.
Talk about all the riots.
It is not the same.
Why didn't we talk about all the riots that went on during the summer? How many police officers were injured or killed?
To the best of my knowledge, no police officers were killed. No,
over
come on.
2,000. Now you're bringing up 4 cops.
Calvin.
No, you guys are so.
This is such a terrible false equivalence, Calvin. You have people who tried to overthrow the government of the United States. They tried to do what they can do, and you're trying to claim that that's the same thing as people saying, "Hey, wait a minute, stop shooting at us. Stop trying to kill us because of the color of our skin." That, Calvin, it's despicable. I see Calvin just hung up on me. You can't take the heat, Calvin, apparently. I mean, this is wow. See, this is what's coming, right? This is what's coming. And this is the thing with this Montana Red Pill Fest. What's coming? These people saying, "Oh no, we're gonna figure out all kinds of weird and whataboutisms and strange, justifications for trying to tear down democracy in the United States." And it's tragic what the right wing has brought this country to, and it's being funded by right-wing billionaires who have been funding this "don't trust government" thing now for 40 years, simply because they don't want to pay their damn taxes. Last hour, at the very end of the last hour, we had a great demonstration of the power of lies and misinformation online. Calvin, the caller, was freaking out about 2,000 police officers injured by BLM, by black people and Antifa. And I was like, what? This makes no sense. I mean, this is what was going through my mind. I've never heard such numbers. Where did this come from? So I Googled it, and here's PolitiFact, the fact-checking website. And they say some Facebook commentators, well, here's the comment that was on Facebook. This was posted on Facebook. Quote, "BLM injures 1,000 police officers." Calvin apparently doubled the number just for fun. "BLM injures 1,000 police officers, kills 36 people, and does $8 billion in damage, and gets celebrated by pro sports," end quote. So they tracked it down. No, there were no 1,000 police officers injured. Nobody was killed. Yeah, there was property damage, but it wasn't even close to $8 billion. And it wasn't property damage done in the peaceful Black Lives Matter protests. It was property damage done in the fringe protests that are frankly, in my opinion, largely counterproductive and generally condemned by Black Lives Matter itself. as you know, so just so you know, if you heard Calvin's rant in the last hour, he was lying through his teeth, although he may not have realized it. He sounded so sincere. Now, either he's a really good BS artist, or he read this on Facebook. PolitiFact, by the way, you know, they go through step by step. The number of officers injured, there was another one that said 700 law enforcement officers were injured. No. They could find one retired St. Louis police captain. He was 77 years old, and he was injured, but he was injured protesting Black Lives Matter. He was against the protests. And then there was a 22-year-old woman from Davenport, Iowa, who was injured, but she was not a police officer. And you know, I mean, the number of injuries they were able to find was just minimal. And then they're talking about the damage caused. They compared it to the 1992 Rodney King riots, and said, you know, this is nothing like that. And at the very end, PolitiFact says, in short, there isn't any evidence to back the numbers in the claim or to blame Black Lives Matter for any part of the claim. Our rating is false. So just so you know,